canon, so let's start the show. Joe and Jeff got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess I have to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start.
Let's start the show. I'm still dancing. I mean, it is catchy. That tune is catchy. It's a hit, Joe. It's an absolute hit. Maybe we'll release a comic book canon album. I don't know.
One might even say a certified banger.
Certified banger, as the kids do say, actually. So I do know that we're streaming on the TikToks here. Nobody really is watching. Just letting everybody know. So if I go like this during the show, I'm acknowledging all of our TikTok fans, which is 0 million. But we're definitely more popular on the YouTube, as we are the most popular show ever of all time, as you all know. Thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday in May. It is going to be a banger of a show, is what the kids say. We have a jam-packed show, literally jam-packed. Normally we get through the news, then we get to our guests, but that's just going to be rude at this point because we have so much to get to in terms of the news. Josh is working his ass off. He took off vacation. He put in leave, right, for his PTO.
Yep.
But we said, bro, big news week. We need you.
Yeah, we threatened legal action against him, actually, if he didn't show up tonight, despite being on vacation, visiting family in an undisclosed location, a.k.a. North Carolina.
Speaking of HR, man, like, honestly, I cannot. But anyways, so we're going to get into it with Big Dan Rhodan. Very excited for this guest for a few reasons, but obviously you cannot guarantee this guest because he may not make it past the interview, which he probably won't. So you all know how hardcore we are with that. With that said, though, this is episode 224 of the canon, which means we have a featured episode, our featured episode issue, which is 224 as well. It is Avengers 224. Love this cover. Well done, Dan De La Torre. As I said, Avengers 224. In this character-driven issue, Janet Van Dyne begins a romantic relationship with Tony Stark. However, she is unaware of his dual identity as Iron Man. Their budding romance causes tension with the Avengers, particularly with Captain America and Thor, who question the ethics of Tony's secrecy. Meanwhile, Scott Lang, a.k.a. Ant-Man, visits the incarcerated Hank Pym, offering assistance, but Hank insists on clearing his name through legal means. We got Jim Shooter on the plot, and co-writer explores the complexities of relationships within a superhero team. Hank Pym's refusal to escape prison underscores his desire for redemption. And he is a horrible guy, but at the same time, not so horrible as well. So here's the deal, Joe. What came to mind with this specific issue is you and I have both been in bands, right?
We have.
So with that said, have you ever been in a band where two members dated?
No, I don't think
I have. It is awful. So I empathize with what Captain America and Thor are going through at that moment. It's terrible.
Put the book back up on the screen.
Go. It will do.
I've seen this book 200,000 times. This is an 80s Marvel title. This book is in probably more than half of the collections that I buy, at least the bigger size collections. I am just now noticing that the white area is a silhouette of two people kissing.
Are you serious?
I have never noticed that. I thought it was just the bars, like the whole bars.
Yeah.
You know,
this is Pym
was having legal issues, domestic violence charges and things like that. I have never noticed the silhouette of the people until just now.
That makes it even more of an excellent cover right there.
So
well done. I don't even know who the artist is on that, but Dan De La Torre may know. But again, being in a band or a group where two people date and it goes sour, oh my God.
Yeah.
Be thankful that you never had to experience that. All right, we're going to move on here, folks. We have a lot going on, as we mentioned here on the canon tonight. Big episode 224. And we have an amazing guest, and we really hope he does well, but I I don't have much faith. I really don't have much faith.
Yeah, we've had some rough ones recently as far as just getting through those interviews and things like that. And we're not holding back here.
No, we definitely are not going to hold back on this. As you all know from our, we have honestly, we built a resume in terms of how professional we are with these interviews, how seriously we take them. And nobody really gets past us. I mean, a lot of people do get kicked off, and for good reasons. However, I just want to mention the fact that somebody new will be joining the canon. Actually, we will have a new team member on the canon that will be a weekly contributor. Very exciting. This is over a year in the making for another added member of the team. So we're very excited about that. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. I mean, obviously you've subscribed because this is the #1 show on YouTube. But here it is. It is now time to get to our guest. It's Big Dan. And wait, okay, here we go. Some guests appear with others arrive with purpose. He's a cosplay photographer, a comic book podcaster, and a force in the fandom, armed with a lens, a mic, and a passion for storytelling. But tonight, he's not stepping into the spotlight, Joe. He's stepping into the canon gauntlet. The interview will be brutal. The questions, they will be unforgiving. The judgment will obviously be swift. Will he rise to the occasion, or will he be ejected like so many before him? Only one way to find out, everybody, because we need to now bring on Big Dan Rhodan. Hello, sir.
Yo.
How is it going?
Oh, I'm having a great time. I'm already excited. I don't even know what's going on yet.
Have you? Again, we're cautiously optimistic because we are very excited that you're on the show, but it's like you have a sick puppy or something like that. That's just, it may not make it. You know what I mean? It may not make it, but
I get it.
You put so much love and care into this thing, right? You want it to do well.
I gotta make it happen.
You do have to make it happen. So,
yeah.
Joe, we haven't talked. We spent. I think we booked you like 3 weeks ago because we couldn't come on because of Mother's Day last week. Respect. And then, so Joe and I have been crafting this interview. We've been looking forward to this specific interview, and it's finally here, Joe. So do you want me to run it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned because last time we had an Eagles fan on here, I think you were a little bit light, on the interview side, but I'll let you take the reins. You can redeem yourself here.
Okay. Actually, before we get into it, you all need to be following Big Dan. The link is down below. We want to talk real quick about something that's kind of outside comic books, but that's actually not. And it's your cosplay photography. So we got a few pics here we want to show off. Why don't you tell us about some of this and actually how you got into it?
Absolutely. And I'm realizing I have the wrong watermark on that photo, but we won't talk about it.
No, we won't talk about that.
This is at the Mutant and Proud event. If anyone is local, you may be familiar with the name of Lady J. She is a cosplay photographer. She also runs the Philly Avengers, which is a great organization. So make sure you guys check that out. They do a lot of community building and work. But this was at the Mutant and Proud event. This is probably one of my favorite photos of this year so far. The direction I gave them was "Get me silly," and they delivered.
It looks like Magneto is about to pass out on the left there, though. But everybody else is doing a great
that's
job.
actually a Scarlet Witch gender swap cosplay.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
So it's these cosplayers bring it, and I made some really good friends from this. And I don't know if you guys can see, both Storms are using the most recent Dr. Doom Storm gown that she wore.
Yeah.
And I think Storm issue number 5. So
well done. By the way, Brian Klott says that the Philly Avengers were at the Fan Expo this weekend. So shout out.
They sure were. I definitely
Avengers.
stopped by and made sure I said hi.
We got another one. This is just beyond awesome.
Man.
Right Tell us about this one.
Gorgeous. This is my friend Brian, aka B Wild Cosplay. And he normally does a Prince spin on his cosplay. And so I had to give him the Black King Hellfire Gala look. And as you can see, absolutely stunning.
That is fantastic right there. And we have one more here again. I want to show off your work. What is going on here?
Whoa.
So I was at a fashion show which did actual fashion and cosplay involved. And my friend here, Ant, aka Ant, Armored Ant-Man, aka at Armored Ant-Man.
Oh my
Did
God.
a Chainsaw Man. And I mean, look at it.
That is fantastic. That is
Chef's
really
kiss
cool.
here.
Very cool. My fiance loves it as well. I just want to shout out Alicia right there. She's watching upstairs. I think she's making me a dessert, guys. I'm very excited. But this is a really intricate looking costume right there. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are ways for him to see, but anyways, love the work there, man. I'm sure there's much more. And I hope you'll be able to one day come back on and show off more work, or we'll be able to collaborate.
Absolutely.
But
I stay grinding out.
Jeff, hold on.
But if you don't pass this interview, it's not none of that's going to
happen. Right.
I'm not always caveat with these interviews.
Dan, can you excuse us for just a second?
Sure.
Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, I know you said you're going to go harder on this guy than the last Eagles fan.
Jackie,
Jackie a couple weeks ago. We've never started off by complimenting the work of.
Well,
you're showing off his stuff. He hasn't even had a single question yet.
Okay, but we do get to know the people because they may get kicked off. Let's just get to it. We have so much to do tonight. I don't want to get into the minutia here. You know what I mean? Let's just make it happen. And it's going to be, look, he probably won't make it, but that won't be our fault, right?
All right, bring him back.
All right, here we go. So, Big Dan, are you ready for the actual interview here?
Let's go.
Okay. There was a Super Bowl that was played in the year 2018 on February 4th.
Of course.
Who won that Super Bowl?
No way he's going to get this.
We all won, right? Because we got to watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl, right?
You got it.
Woo!
Oh, my God. Good work, Big Dan. Let's all, everybody, some people get the first question right.
He got lucky.
Got very lucky. There are 2 more questions left. So here we go. The Eagle. I like you, Big Dan. I don't want to see you lose. You know what I mean?
I'm rooting for myself here.
Good. You should. You do have confidence. I could tell. The Eagles have 4 uniforms that they currently wear. It's midnight green. It's white. It's black. And they have another jersey that they wear.
Kelly Green, baby.
What color is that?
It's Kelly Green. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. Why are we wasting time here? It's Kelly Green.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
2 for 2.
It's almost like he's acting like he got these answers or something. That is
amazing.
Absolutely not. I am an Eagles fan.
He's not even sitting there thinking about this stuff.
I'm a part of the initiated.
So Joe and I were like really struggling with this last question. We were like, we got to make it as difficult as possible, right?
Yeah.
And again, if you do not get this answer, it's over. I mean, you did fantastic. You're beyond our expectations, but we can't. This is the main. This is like the boss level of all boss levels to end the game. I'm going to say it, Joe. I'm just going to spit it out. Here we go, everybody.
Spit it out.
Who won Super Bowl 59?
If I remember correctly, because I'm not that old, so it's been quite some time since that happened. I would say it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
He got it! He got it! Oh my God!
Yes!
Oh my God!
Go Birds,
yes!
baby.
He got it! That is unfreaking believable. And obviously, we're not being, one-sided here, given that you are an Eagles fan. I don't even know if you know this, but Joe and I are the biggest Eagles fans you've probably ever met in the community.
There's been rumors.
Yeah, so holy cow. Like, look at this. You're getting props from everybody y'all need to follow. Big Dan. I don't think we've ever had somebody not get kicked off and not answer. Well, no, Jackie. Did we kick Jackie off? I think we did.
Oh, we kicked Jackie off.
Oh, no, not my man's Jackie.
Yeah, I think we did. I can't remember why, but anyways. Oh, by the way, this is Brian Klotz. That was terrible. Alvarez that's not great. Anyway, so congratulations. You are now part of this show, Big Dan. This show is as much yours as it is ours. You are a part of the team. You get to make fun of us as much as we make fun of you. So have at it, because there's going to be a lot to make fun of with this next guy that comes on the scene. Are you ready for this? Right here.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
That's right. Josh delivers the news and rumors. And as you can tell, he's Mr. Tough Guy with the tank top on in North Carolina. Love it, love it.
I need to get
Josh,
some more sun later, but yeah, we'll see how it works out.
The sun's out, so the guns are out. Josh, are any comments on the performance by Big Dan in the gauntlet of that interview?
I mean, perhaps the best guest we've ever had on the show by far. Knocked out all of the answers. Look, my family, even though we're in North Carolina, they're from Pennsylvania, and they're diehard Eagles fans. They have a case down with like 800 bobbleheads, and there's Eagles stuff like laced up everywhere. So if they're watching, they probably support you as well. So yeah, you're winning the hearts of the 15 million viewers right now.
15 million viewers. Hopefully we get them all to like. They're definitely subscribed, I would say. So well done again. We're going to be talking about this performance. We're going to be telling our grandkids about this performance, Dan.
Yeah.
So well done.
I appreciate that.
Well done. All right, we got a ton of news stories that we're going to have to just get to. So Josh, we appreciate you. You put in for vacation time this week, and unfortunately HR got in touch with you because it was such a busy week. We do appreciate the fact that you did your job. The fact that we had to reach out to you to tell you to do it is a little bit telling on your character, but yeah. Let's just move on. What do we got? What's the first news story? What do we got?
Let's start off with some surprising news, and it was announced last week, but everybody wasn't sure what was going on. So Scream Queen Nev Campbell is confirmed to voice Polis, I pronounced that right, in X-Men 97 Season 2. However, this character might translate into Doomsday. We'll have to see what happens. You know, everybody's a little bit upset because she is an older actress. Now, if she's voicing Season 2, obviously a voice doesn't matter so much. But considering that Magneto is like in his 90s in Doomsday, he can have, children that are, in the late or early 40s. So I'm happy with this. And, I think she's a great actress. And, it'll be interesting to see her performance on Season 2.
So as a guest, we're going to give Big Dan first shout out for the comments here and his thoughts on Polaris definitely joining X-Men 97 second season and possibly making her way on the big screen as well.
Yeah, I think this is a really good casting. Neve Campbell is, we all know. If you're familiar, you're familiar. So I think they took a very smart choice with this. Ironically, I met Lenore Zahn. Make sure I pronounce it correctly. She was also a former Scream Queen. So, keep that in mind. I think they can't go wrong with these.
I'm going to throw it in there too. I think this is great casting. I think she's always been a quality actress. What was she in Party of Five or whatever that was to now, and obviously coming back to Scream. So I'm happy with this. Joseph.
I would marry her at the drop of a hat. Just want to say that first of all. But I really like the character Polaris. I'm actually really mad at you that you put up X-Men 49 and not X-Men 50, which is like one of the greatest comic book covers of all time. And it is not only Polaris' second appearance, but also a beautiful Polaris cover. So Jeff, we're going to have a talk after the show about that. But as far as Neve Campbell goes, yes, please. This is awesome. And I could totally see her taking on the role in live action as well.
That'd be dope for sure. Real quick, I do think this is NAOMI-CON, our comic book canon alumnus. And I don't want to put two and two together here, but we did say that there was going to be a new team member we're going to announce. Just saying. Anyways, moving on. What do we got next, Joshua?
Yeah, so some great news and something that I hinted at a long time ago, and that's that Kristen Ritter will officially return as Jessica Jones in Born Again Season 2. I am so hyped for this. she's a great actress. I love, the seasons with Jessica Jones, and I loved the Defenders with her appearances in there. And it's really great that Marvel is bringing back at least some of the Defenders. We'll have to see if the other two will join her possibly. Charlie said there's going to be some fun cameos in season 2. But it sounds like Jessica Jones is going to have more of a bigger role in season 2. It won't just be a, one episode cameo. She says they have some fun stuff planned for her, and I'm just glad to have her back, man.
For sure. Big Dan, what are your thoughts on the Defenders reuniting in the MCU?
I think I'm going to have to agree with Josh here. I think we may get some, but not all, just because of some logistics. But Christian Ritter has done the best job that you could possibly do for a character that's kind of very nuanced and not as popular. So, I'm excited to see it.
For sure. Again, it's really cool how they're so. I'm not sure what you're alluding to with the logistics. I need to see Luke Cage. Finn Jones as Iron Fist. They can recast. I'm okay with that. But I definitely need to see. I don't know. What's that?
I don't know if we get it. I don't think we get Luke Cage back.
Oh, that would be a damn shame.
Yeah,
a damn shame. Joseph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm all for this. This is actually a run that I have. I actually have the full run that I purchased in a collection probably over a year ago at this point. Have not gotten to reading it yet, but this is something that I want to read because, like many people, my first my introduction to this character was the Netflix show. I really had not read much or really anything about where she was, a anything other than a passerby character. So I really want to read her original run, and it's only a couple dozen issues. It's not very long.
Yeah.
And there are storylines that were taken, the Purple Man, and stuff like that were taken for the show. So I'm really hoping to read this at some point, hopefully before she shows back up on the screen.
Yeah, for sure. Joshua, last thoughts on this before we move to the next story.
Like I said, I'm excited to have her back and looking forward to maybe getting her own season again or showing up in a movie somewhere. We'll have to see.
That would be fantastic. All right, moving on. We had a trailer.
Yeah, so
finally
something that I was a bit worried about because we're about a month and a half, almost 2 months away from this coming out. But the Ironheart trailer dropped. And, I know you two guys are really not looking forward to
I never said that, actually.
Well, okay, maybe not looking forward to it, but it's not a character that,
never
as
said
you
that
guys... I could have sworn you guys... Okay, all right, well, Joe...
Yeah, I said it. It's not a character that I've ever cared about, and the movie really didn't do the character justice as far as making me care about her. Am I going to watch it? Absolutely. Do I hope that it's good? Absolutely. I don't want anything to fail. But this is not something that I'm stoked about by any means.
What I did say was I wasn't into her introduction into the MCU.
Right.
With Wakanda Forever. That's what I said. But I'm excited that she does have a show. I do like her. I have multiple volumes of Riri Williams. Obviously the Invincible Iron Man as well as Ironheart. So I'm super excited. Big Dan, your thoughts?
I am torn about this series as well as how it was delivered in Wakanda Forever. I've been reading Riri Williams since day one. Invincible Iron Man, the origin was very important to her creation, and I think the pivot in Wakanda Forever kind of plays with that in the wrong way. She's a legacy character, and so you do need Iron Man referenced strongly, or at least heavily, in order for you to understand why she does what she does. I'm obviously a father of 2 beautiful brown girls, and so STEM and stories about STEM is very important. And so I'm going to watch it just for the sake of support. I like the actress. I think this can be done well, but we know with Disney Plus it can go a lot of different ways. So, fingers crossed.
I'm going to throw this out here too. Again, I don't think any of us thought it was stellar the way she was introduced in Wakanda. However, I don't think it's crucial, like in the comics, how she is tied to Tony Stark. I don't think she needs to be tied to Tony Stark here. I think that if you have another character that is tied to Tony Stark, it's going to be very similar to Peter Parker at this point. I think she's going to have her own journey in the MCU that's going to be completely different from what we have seen in the comic books. To be honest with you, Joshua, your thoughts?
Yeah, and you know what? She's actually from Delaware. So am
Yeah.
I. So yeah, she's from Delaware.
Oh, I love it
Look
even
it up.
more.
So I'm happy about that. She's supporting, but I want to say the trailer honestly looks good to me. I think it looks good quality. It looks like it's got some great action.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching this. Listen, I've watched everything Marvel. Some things I like more than others, but I've enjoyed pretty much mostly everything. And I think this looks good, and I think we'll enjoy it. We'll just have to see what happens. I hope, though, it's weird because they're going to do a 3-episode drop now due to Andor being successful.
Right.
I think there's only 6 episodes on this
I don't
show.
like that.
So it's only going to be like a 2-week drop. You're going to get the first 3 and then the last 3, and then that's it. I kind of would want them to space it out a little bit more so you can, because you got to realize that's 2 weeks worth of content, comes out in June, and then we got to wait, a couple weeks, almost 3 weeks for Fantastic Four to come out as well. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it does well, and I want other people to go out and support it. I think, I think she's a good character, and I think the show will get people more interested in her.
For sure. It is a little strange. Again, like there's no hype behind it until now, and that just makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's
I have a theory about that, but this is not my podcast. But
what did we say?
Man.
What did we say?
Yeah.
It's your show as much as it is ours. We want to hear this theory, unless you're saving it for your podcast.
No. I was working on making content about this, but even then, it's still divisive. I think Marvel is also afraid of their own comments, and it's very polarizing now. Whenever we see a character that does not look like what the majority believes it should look like, Marvel's just trying to insulate themselves. And so if it fails, then they blame the fact that it's the viewership. If it's successful, then they can blame the fact that they created it. And especially for someone that looks a character that looks like me, it's very telling that some people don't read comic books. Very fast. Very quickly, people are like, who's doing a gender swapped Iron Man? You haven't been here for a while, and that's fine. I'd rather you just come to me, I give you a book, we talk about it later. But I'm being nice here.
Look, I'll tell you what, you're winning over the audience here at the Cannon, for sure. The 4 of us absolutely agree, and everything you just spoke right there as well. Again, I will reiterate the audience right now. Really, really appreciating those comments, because I'll be frank, I agree with you as well. So
I appreciate
you know what? I had this conversation with someone the other day, and we're talking kind of about the internet's opinions on the Marvel stuff and things like that. And one thing we noticed that I had really never brought up before, She-Hulk. She-Hulk had mixed reviews. I loved it personally. Thought it was great. I watched it 2 or 3 times in its entirety. The biggest complaint about that show, do you guys remember what it was? The biggest complaint about
I know
it was a 30-second cameo appearance from a black woman.
Yeah.
That was the biggest complaint. A 30-second that if you took out, it would not change one thing about that show. And that was the biggest complaint. And that is very telling and unfortunate. But go back and watch.
I think you just have to get back to having fun.
Yeah.
Comic books have been about fun from the beginning. It's political, but it's at the end of the day, it's fun. And a lot of people keep expecting either the Academy Awards or it being absolutely trash, and you can live right in the middle with having fun.
It is, but we're going down a path here. But the fact that people are saying this stuff is too woke, et cetera, do not. It goes back to what you said. They don't know. They don't understand, right? They never saw Riri Williams when she was first introduced in Invincible Iron Man. They haven't gone back to the 40s when Captain America was punching Nazis. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but here's the problem is too. I've seen some comments where people literally have never read the comic books because they thought she was originally a white character and they thought they changed her to be diverse, but it's not even the truth. And that's the craziest thing. There are people on the internet who literally have no idea what they're talking about. And
That's
it's just
wild.
a small group of people, man. It's sad.
it really is.
That's literally wild because I'm just sitting here thinking about all the white women that I know named Riri Williams. That's
So
Like
many,
I
so
said,
many, right?
I cannot make it up. If you go on Twitter or Reddit,
I believe it, Josh.
it's just
I believe it.
but the problem is it's just people want to complain about everything, man. And they don't even, and the worst part is like, it's one thing if you come with a valid argument, like you actually have a legit opinion and it makes sense. But when you sit there and say, oh, well, they're changing, they're swapping her race out. That's not even the case. She is who she is. She's representing who she was from the comics. So it's the same. We'll talk about this probably a little bit when we talk about the Superman trailer, because I got some comments to say about that, but
can't wait. This again to be continued. We got to move on here.
yeah, I know.
This could be a whole episode dedicated to this, as you all know.
Tell me about it.
So, Joshua, what's next?
Yeah, so a leak supposedly. I thought this was legit.
By the way, I did too.
Yeah, and it did come out on legit accounts, and now it's been taken down. As of course, that's what Jeff said to me today. I wasn't able to look into it, but the first trailer or the teaser trailer for Spider-Man Noel dropped. And let me tell you something, man. I'm not the biggest Spider-Man guy, but I love Nicolas Cage, and I love the way this trailer is, and it's giving me like Sin City vibes for like Spider-Man, and so I'm really excited for this. They're gonna be bringing obviously some of the other characters. I think if I'm not mistaken, the Sandman is gonna be.
Oh wow!
Well, that version of the Sandman is gonna be the main villain. It'll be interesting to see how they change it up. But yeah, it was apparently a leak. The trailer is being taken down. So if you saw it, you saw it. There are a few pictures, of course, like the one we see. But I love Nicolas Cage, and this will be releasing on Amazon Prime, I believe, beginning of next year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, but it looks great.
Big Dan, what are your thoughts? I don't know if you saw the trailer that was pulled down.
I missed the trailer. But as someone who, once again, this was another one of those day one reads, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think Nicolas Cage did a great job in his guest appearances with Into the Spider-Verse. And so I don't think we can go wrong here.
I wouldn't even say those are guest appearances. Those are supporting characters. He did fantastic with that. I do have to say what happened was as soon as I heard about this trailer, I checked it out and I saw one. I'm like, this shit looks terrible because it was AI laden, right? Somebody had enough time to create an AI version of it with images like this that they put in there, and it looked like absolute garbage. And then I thought I found the right trailer, but then reading up on it today, just to make, because as you know, we're a very thorough show. We never make mistakes. I told Josh, I'm like, that wasn't it. It's not out anymore. And that was the case. It was what they showed at some maybe Amazon New Fronts or something like that. So it's something to be excited about because Josh nailed it. Sin City meets Spider-Man Noir. It's awesome. Yeah. Joseph, your thoughts?
One thing to remember, whether you like his work or don't like his work, because Nicolas Cage is a very polarizing actor. There are people that love him. I personally love him. I think he absolutely goes all in on everything. There are people that don't like his style. It's definitely a very extreme style, and I understand. But this guy loves comic books. This guy collects. He owned one of the most expensive comics ever bought or sold. I think it was I forget if it was a 9.2 or a 9.4, but it's the highest graded copy of Action Comics in existence he once owned. This is someone who has put in an immense amount of time working with comic book movies, even though that Superman movie never happened. Yeah, he was all in on that. You could tell.
He named his son Jor-El or Kal-El.
It's Kal-El, right?
One of those. I don't know.
Jor-El for the father.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, but yeah, this guy cares. We want people in these roles, And we want people behind the scenes, directing, writing, whatever it is. We want people to care about comics. And Nicolas Cage absolutely fits the bill on that one. So I'm so stoked for this.
The passion comes out when these people who are part of these experiences and these IPs that actually care about them, it shows, and most of the time ends up being the best work. So super excited again to have him being a part of this. Joshua, we got to move on.
Yeah, this next piece, man. I've finished up Andor season 2, the last 3 episodes, man, and you listen. A lot of people may not be happy with Star Wars content recently from Disney. I've been saying this. Rogue One was probably the best piece of Star Wars content they put out, maybe along with the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. But Andor season 1 killed it, and season 2 is fantastic. The last 5 episodes of Andor, like maybe even better Star Wars content than the original films. I mean,
Wow.
you talk about the original 3 films. Well, listen, you put Andor season 1, season 2, and put Rogue One together, which by the way, I'm not, no spoilers obviously, but the last 3 episodes leads up so beautifully into Andor and the ending, and it makes the movie so much more impactful. Okay, listen, get Pope out of here, man. I don't listen, whatever, man. I'm telling you right now, it makes Rogue One such an even better film, and you'll see small details from that film that were played off in Andor. So I highly recommend you guys go out and watch this. This is the second best, now maybe the best trilogy, followed behind the original trilogy. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Real quick,
yeah.
I this is pathetic. I loved season 1. My schedule has been crushing me. I've had no time to watch season 2. And however, I will I want to blame Alicia too. It's partly her fault. I hear her upstairs watching the show, the #1 show on YouTube, Comic Book Canon. So she will hear that, and she may yell down at me. It's not her fault, but it is. But Big Dan, we haven't even talked if you are a Star Wars fan or not.
So if you've ever heard my intro for the podcast for the Blurred Bar, I call myself a comic book connoisseur and a sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes. Sci-fi is one of my passions. I no longer call myself a Star Wars fan just because I don't want to be associated with the nonsense that exists. But I love Star Wars. I have loved Star Wars. I was literally forced to choose between Star Trek or Star Wars in my house, and I picked Star Wars.
They made you make a choice?
Yeah, I was forced to make a choice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, my dad was like, you can't be passionate about both of these things.
Yo, that's fantastic.
So,
okay. So before you, I definitely want to know your thoughts if you've seen it, but Alicia is laughing. I don't know what that means. It's your fault. Go ahead. Tell us about Andor.
So I am I just finished episode 7 of Andor season 2.
Okay.
Already I'm loving it. It's just really hard to watch with kids, right? Like they're hour-long episodes, and so they're not getting the themes. I'm putting on Bluey. I'm also a Bluey dad, so it's
Bluey.
We're the same, man. We are the same.
Yeah, man, you're in for a ride. Let me tell you, episode 8 and 9 definitely do not watch with kids. I've been warned.
Literally today, someone sent me a text and was like, "Hey, if you watch episode 8, bring tissues." And I was like, "I don't know what that means. I'm not responding."
Yeah.
But, I've watched everything Star Wars related, even the Christmas special. So I'm here.
Hey, do you have the Bluey cereal?
I don't.
You've seen it.
You should not have told me about that.
Oh, you've never seen it? It's definitely in your local supermarket. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten it. My stepdaughter, she's 11. She doesn't admit she loves Bluey. She still loves Bluey. My daughter, she had a Bluey phase as well, but I'm intrigued by this cereal. Anyways, so Joseph, your thoughts on Andor?
Yeah, I like something Josh said. He just referred to Andor season 1, Andor season 2, and Rogue One as a trilogy, which it kind of is.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that, and I think we should right here on Comic Book Canon right now on May 18th, 2025, as a team, coin that term, the Andor trilogy. I think
We've
that's
declared it.
perfect way to kind of lump these two seasons as well as a movie in together. Kind of like what they're doing with the Mandalorian. We got the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. And we're getting a Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Can't wait.
Kind of a trilogy itself right there. But yeah, no, this, I mean, I was waiting, like I mentioned, I was waiting for this to come out in its entirety to watch the season. Now that it's out and I'm done with convention season, that's kind of going to be on my list for probably maybe even starting as early as tomorrow, watching, this whole season. And of course, I'm going to watch it right into Rogue One of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, you got Kate just said, she teared up. Let me tell you something. The last 4 minutes of Andor, the last episode, it's gonna make you love and hate Rogue One even more. And that's all I'm gonna say. Maybe we should do a review. We should come back, have everybody watch it, and give a review. I already know, man. I'm giving it a 10.0 white pages gold label.
Okay, that's fair. We have to move on here, unfortunately. Rogue One is definitely top 3 Star Wars films, in my opinion.
Big facts.
Top 2.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. But there's one thing I do want to get to real quick before we move on to the next story, and that is Lexi. I gotta where is it, Lexi? Oh, a little embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. 26 no kids, all love for Bluey. That's fair. I need to know, Lexi, if you've actually had the Bluey cereal. Please let us know. I've never tasted it. I see it and walk by it. Big Dan may have a review by this in the next day or two. So
you've told me about it. I have to look for it, hunt it down for my kids and myself.
We need to know. All right, moving on to the next story, Joshua. What do we got?
Yeah, this is actually broke today. Jeff sent this to me, and we agreed we should talk about it. So some new art for Fantastic Four dropped. They're doing a promo with Snapple, Ice-T, and we got our first official look at Galactus and the way how he will be looking. No, he's not going to be like a 10-foot tall head only or a cloud. He's actually going to be almost the Galactus we know from the Jack Kirby art and the Stan Lee story from Fantastic Four. So I'm happy with this. I mean, it's crazy to think that we haven't had Galactus in the MCU yet, but honestly, we haven't had Fantastic Four, and that makes the only sense for him to really show up. So I'm just excited for this movie, man. We probably get another trailer within the next month or so, one last trailer, but I'm ready for this movie, and I need it now.
Yeah, Josh, I'm just going to interrupt you real quick for a second for something a little bit more important than your job, the news, and that's this right here from the Neighborhood Merc. What's up, guys? Just for the hell of it, go Birds!
Go Birds!
Go Birds! All right, yeah, there we go. Go Birds! All right, Josh. Thanks, man.
That's just my thoughts on it. Like I said, this movie needs to be here now. Can't wait for the next 2 months. It's going to be a slow burn, but we'll get there eventually.
Big Dan, what do you got? Fantastic Four.
I'm excited. They're the first family, Marvel's first family. I saw Thunderbolts, so I'm here for Fantastic Four. My theories have kind of been consistent so far. I haven't gotten nothing wrong as far as how does the Fantastic Four land in the MCU currently. And so
I'm not
spoiling anything. Yeah. So I'm really excited. Galactus, we'll see. That's a really big ask of any movie, is to get a world destroying creature. Mm-hmm. And how do you really spin that? How do you show that? Obviously, CGI is going to have to bring its A game.
Yeah.
The special effects team is probably still working on this to this day until it's actually really ready. So I'm excited.
For sure. I am as well. Again, when I saw this today, I didn't know if it was legit because there wasn't like solid news sources. So I sent it to the Adam Schefter of Comic Book Canon, and he verified it is legit. I have to say, there is a QR code at some Snapple website that you hit. This is from my phone right here, and It's VR, so when you spin around, you see a different perspective on all of this stuff. It's really cool, and to see Galactus just pop up, it was awesome. So I'm happy with the design. I'm excited that we're finally going to see Galactus on the big screen as Galactus should be. So I'm all about this. All about this. I do want to address one thing, guys. Did you know that I think in November, Monday Night Football, Birds vs. Pack, NAOMI-CON, she's an alumnus of the canon, and she may have more of a role. I'm not quite sure. Birds vs. Pack, she is a Packers fan. I just want to say that. Also, I had something else to. We have an update. This is Big Dan. You will not hesitate at this point. Alexi said she has had the Bluey cereal, and it's pretty fire. She's not gonna lie.
All right.
So there it is. All right, here we go. Next news story. What do we have, Joshua?
Yeah, we finally got the official trailer for Superman that dropped. And man, let me tell you something. There's been a lot of talk about this film. We've been talking about it for the last year. And the hype, honestly, I think is real. This trailer showed you what you wanted to see. We've got everything going on in here. Tons of action. I will say, however, based off of the trailer, it looks like some of the leaks are officially confirmed. So if you know, you know. But I think Superman will be the big summer box office, followed behind Fantastic Four. And it's, in my opinion, as a DC fan, and you know how much I love DC, especially Batman. But we're going to get in my opinion, maybe the most comic accurate, best Superman film ever. And Christopher Reeves, was it Christopher Reeves? Yeah, Christopher Reeves did a great job, but his Superman was still a little bit different. I think this will end up going down as the better Superman film. Just my opinion. I can't wait to see where James Gunn is going.
Big Dan, what are your thoughts?
I had thoughts about Josh's statement, but oh man, that took me for a spin for a second.
Right?
Superman,
that's why he's not here on the screen anymore.
He gets kicked off. Yeah.
Superman's great. I'm not always the biggest Superman fan, but I am excited about this movie. Before you kick me off, I was
no, that was for Josh. Hope wanted Josh kicked off.
Okay. But I'm excited for this film. It looks the most comic book worthy film that DC has probably provided us in recent years.
Well said.
So I don't think we're going to be let down in that regard. Some of my thoughts, which I don't know if they're confirmed or not, this is going to be less of an origin story and more of just, hey, superheroes exist, and we're taking it all in. And I think we need to kind of exist in that realm for all superhero movies going forward. I don't think we need an origin story as much, especially if you want comic books to be successful and to grow. It's better now to just be like, hey, here's a reference point, but this story is its own story existing in its own time. No more flashbacks. Hopefully no more flashbacks. I am tired of superhero flashbacks, but that's just me.
No, that's well said. Joseph, your thoughts?
This movie looks awesome. I say this pretty often when we talk about these new DC things. I'm not much of a DC guy, and I'm even less of a Superman guy. And I'm stoked about this movie, equally to Fantastic Four. So that says a lot.
You could be both. Yeah.
July is going to be
insane.
Such a pivotal month in the world of comic books, not just with the movies, but as we've seen over the last many number of years, comic book sales, new books, things like that are very, very driven by other content, whether it's Marvel Rivals, which definitely I've heard from people that they got into comics from Marvel Rivals. That's awesome. We've obviously had tons and tons of people come in from the MCU and even the Arrowverse and stuff like that. July is going to be, it's really going to send comic books on its 10-year trajectory, whether that's good or bad. So fingers crossed.
It's a great month. It's a great month to be alive and to be born and to have a
Oh, yeah.
birthday. So
And
July is
Happy
always
birthday to
great.
Big Dan.
Yeah,
And me. We're the same, dude. We are the same, you and I, Big Dan. I'm excited for this as well. I mean, nothing will surpass Christopher Reeves for me. It left such an impression. 1 and 2, Josh saying, "Oh, 4 was so good." Yeah, because I hang my hat on 4 for sure. No, not at all. Christopher
Did we
Reeves.
talk about 4?
He said that.
Who?
He
Okay.
goes, and I'm going to say it in his intonation. Oh, yeah, because Superman 4 was so good. Shut up. Honestly, Christopher Reeve was that guy. But this movie, I am so excited for because let's hope this is the turning point for the DC. I am also for DCU and forgetting about the DCEU, which was a dumpster fire. I'm so excited about this because my fiance, fair to say, she's into this stuff because I'm into this stuff. But she's into the stuff on her own accord as well, and she's excited about it. My stepdaughter's excited about this. I can't wait to watch it with them and just feel like that kid that was watching Christopher Reeves again, like, and sharing that moment with them. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. No bullshit. I'm very, very excited about this. So, yeah, I think all of us, it's safe to say we're excited about. Big Dan, I'm going to leave it up to you, actually. Is it okay if we bring Josh in back?
Absolutely. You know, some people are allowed to be wrong, and I think we need to live in that world where people are allowed to be wrong.
Wow.
You're too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we just move on to the next news story, which is actually moving on to the rumors?
You know, was I wrong when I said that Robert Downey Jr. was going to play as Doom, and then a couple months later they announced?
You're this close to being kicked off again.
Listen, I want to say one more thing. One more thing on Superman about this show. Crypto is the goodiest good boy ever in comic history.
You're not wrong. I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I am excited about this movie. Oddly, I see my wife's comment there. She's not super excited about it. Little fun play there for you guys.
Well done, Tina. And thank you for joining the canon. Your husband's doing fantastic, by the way.
I'm trying.
He aced the interview. I hope you saw it, by the way. It's probably one of the best interviews we've ever had. Anyways, we should probably move on to the next news. We knew this was going to be chocolate news. We knew this was going to be chocolate news because it's 8:58 already. Joe has to work tomorrow.
I do.
I don't. I'm on vacation. I don't go back to work until.
I was about to do it.
We try doing a news story on our own. That's the thing. We need him, Joe.
Joe delivers the news and new rumors.
All right, Josh, what do we got?
All right, we're going to jump into rumors now. These, again, are just rumors, no spoilers. Take this with a grain of salt. Who knows what will happen? I did announce that Robert Downey Jr. could be playing Doom, and it came true. So, you know, my track record is proven. Let's start off with some Marvel news. This is interesting. I really don't believe this, but Marvel is reportedly developing a Annihilators movie. I don't know, man. I think this is just a really far out throw for Marvel to do. There's other properties that I feel like are serious or movies that need to happen other than this film. I guess it could work depending how they do it. We'll have to see what happens though if this ends up becoming true.
Big Dan.
I think it works the same way Guardians of the Galaxy was successful if you don't go the route of comedy. If they're all serious and this is all action, you know, the stakes being high. I mean, based on the roster you have here, Silver Surfer, Ronin, Gladiator, Nova, Beta Ray Bill, Adam Warlock, you'll have some comedy found in there, but if you really just give them stakes that they're stopping whatever's coming to Earth, because obviously Earth is the only thing that's important in any of these comic book universes. You have a good movie. Take it the way of Expendables, but like I said, less comedy. You have a solid film.
Joe, you got excited because I think you both agreed on a certain point here.
Dan took the words out of my mouth. Like literally what I was going to say was dark Guardians of the Galaxy. That is the term that I was going to use here. A cosmic team that's, more serious, a little bit more, dimmer tone as far as the movie and the development and the setting and stuff like that. And these are all great characters that a lot of people have a lot of the comic fans have invested their time into and reading and loving these characters. Obviously Silver Surfer, the most well-known character here, but there are plenty of people who I have a friend who collects every single Beta Ray Bill appearance in comic.
I love Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Love Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, no. So yeah, exactly what Dan said here. Just this, darker, toned down, Guardians, or rather cosmic team. I'm all for it.
Hold on.
What do you got there, Dan?
Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah,
There you go.
excellent.
It's goated. It's one of my favorites.
So that was so much fun. It was so good. Anyways, sorry, Joe. I think I agree with you guys 100%. I think it could totally work, especially with expanding more and getting away from kind of the legacy characters of the Avengers and things. I don't think we're there yet, in my opinion. I would like to see a Nova project at some point to kind of kickstart this thing and have Nova kind of be that cosmic being that ushers in teams like this. I would love to see that, but I love both of your takes of almost like Dark Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So,
well, we have a Nova show supposedly in the works. It's canceled. I think it was kind of put on hold. But and the other thing too is if this takes place, like this wouldn't be coming out until almost 2030 at least, because Secret Wars is coming out 2027 or 2028.
27.
Yeah, and like you think they're gonna obviously you wouldn't want to just introduce all these characters in one movie. You want to maybe like tease them a little bit here and there.
You did do that with Guardians, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Surfer already, or at least some iteration of Surfer.
Yeah,
the Nova Corps has already been talked about.
Well,
Adam
I think
Warlock,
Beta Ray Bill is supposedly going to show up in the next Thor film, from what I hear. But
they're doing another one of those.
Well, they're going to do a they want to do a send off film for Thor.
Okay.
That would be interesting. Taking the mantle with Beta Ray Bill. That would be dope. All right, we got to move on to the next story.
Next one, which I don't think is actually a rumor. I think this is going to happen. I'm hearing a lot of chatter on the back channels, as you would say, from a lot of people. Matt Reeves is expected to turn in the full first draft of Batman 2 by Memorial Day, and it looks like casting will start happening by July, and filming will start happening by the end of this year. And I will say, I think this is more truth to this because James Gunn recently just said on Twitter, somebody asked him about this, and he said he's getting some not drafts, but pages. He's getting, he's still talking to Matt Reeves. Matt is talking to him almost every day about the project, and they're getting closer to it. Yeah. First draft. So he's never turned in a complete draft yet. I mean, James even said this a few months ago that they saw an outline of like half the first draft, but other than that, you know what I mean? So,
all right, I need to do a temp check real quick on Joe because, like exactly what Lexi said about exhausted at this point. The back and forth has just been too damn much. Joe, how are you doing over there?
I don't give a flying fuck if this movie comes out in 2034, as long as it comes out and it's as good as the first one, or at least close to being as good as the first one. My favorite Batman movie ever. Absolutely phenomenal setting. There is a world that has been built for us. It has been developed upon in the Joker television series.
Penguin.
Did I say Joker? Yeah. Penguin television series. This, I will wait forever for this.
Dan.
I don't think as a collective we'll wait forever, but I do agree with you that it needs to happen. I'm trying to be an optimistic here, but I don't think if we don't hear finalization between now and after post Superman,
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I think they're going to pivot and find something else.
This is becoming, I hate to say this is becoming a stain at this point. And again, if there are issues, family issues, health issues with people involved in the film, this is not a knock on that. It's more of a knock on the back and forth in the media of like, it's on, it's off. We're going to start shooting in a few months. Oh no, Matt Reeves may leave. And it's just like, holy shit, everybody just shut up, take a beat and figure this out.
Don't say nothing if you ain't got nothing, you know?
Exactly. Just be straightforward with us. So it wasn't
the problem is everybody the spotlight's on DC right now. Right. You know, with the whole Snyderverse thing, then they went off, did a smaller films, didn't well received, and then WB got bought out, got bought in or whatever at the Time Warner or whatever the hell the case was be, and now everybody's looking at this. Then they brought James Gunn in, and everybody's like, okay, what's going on? Is James Gunn going to do this? And I honestly think Dan's kind of on to something. I think depending on the success of Superman.
Fair.
If it's successful, they may end up throwing this away because they want to maybe focus on the DCU Batman, obviously. If it doesn't do well, hey, Matt Reeves can turn his script. We'll give him a little bit more time and, you know, keep the Batman series going on and keep making the money a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, from what I'm hearing, I do think it'll happen. Filming, as long as filming starts by the end of the year, we might get it 2027, hopefully, but we'll have to see when they start filming. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll know. We will. I guarantee you this: come Memorial Day, which is a week away almost, we will know 2 weeks from now for sure whether this is going to happen or not. Because if that draft goes in and it gets, and like I said, I'm hearing July is when casting will start getting casting. So let's see.
Pope taking a knock at Joe for near, far, wherever you are, Joe's heart will go on.
I don't know that song, but it was probably because it was made before I was born.
Well, yeah, I think he's saying that you don't know what Titanic is. But anyways, oh, Danny, we liked you so much. That's so sad. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey man, I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League
Man of Steel
over 8 times. So that's almost 4 hours times 8 of my life that I've wasted away. I love that movie. I don't care what y'all say.
The Superman film was great. It was really good. Not Superman versus Batman. I thought it was really good, but everything else after that was mediocre at best. So moving on to our final news story. It's only 9:08 for goodness sakes. Joshua,
listen, this is something that I really hope. Like I always say, there's new rumors I report that I really hope come true, and I pray to God, but I don't believe in them. But I hope it happens, and that's that Daniel Day-Lewis is apparently rumored to be an eye to play as Magneto in the MCU. I am a tremendous fan of Daniel Day-Lewis. Probably one of the top 3 best actors ever, in my opinion. He is a phenomenal actor. He always kills it. Yes, he retired, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. However, he just came out of retirement. His son is directing his first ever film, and he's starring in it. And I'm hearing this is Kevin Feige's personal choice for Magneto. Now, is it going to happen? It might be a stretch because Daniel Day-Lewis is not known for doing comic movies and non-serious movies, if that makes sense. He does, serious takes on realistic movies, so we'll have to see. But I think he would do great as Magneto and would crush it.
Dan.
If I take your wheelchair and I have my wheelchair, then I have 2 wheelchairs. No, I'm sorry. I don't see this happening personally. No. But sure, great fan casting. I'd love to see it happen executed because he's a great method actor, probably the best. No, personally, I don't see it happening. But I can be a pessimist sometimes.
How about this? Let's rephrase it. Would you want to see him as Magneto?
No. As the cinephile that I am, I think letting Daniel Day-Lewis be great in whatever he chooses to do is the best way to make sure we get a good Daniel Day-Lewis film. But the moment you lock him into a secret science, sci-fi film, I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I have a different perspective, but anyways, Joe, you go and then I'll explain.
I just don't see someone of this caliber coming out of retirement for a superhero movie. And that's not a knock on the genre. It's not obviously I love this stuff. But there is a lot of, I don't want to call it elitism, but there is a lot of, it's almost like comic book movies, superhero movies are kind of a little bit of a punchline in Hollywood among the more refined actors, let's call them.
Even directors too.
Yeah. You hear stuff from Martin Scorsese, and it is a little bit elitist. It is, because these movies are entertaining, and I get that they don't capture things in the same way that The Departed did. It's not the same kind of movie, and that's okay. That being said, I can't imagine a situation where this guy, who is often at the top number one spot on greatest actors of all time list, comes out of retirement to play Magneto. Also, I would rather there be a younger Magneto who could stick around in the MCU for 10, 15, 20 years. That's just my 2 cents.
Agreed.
Would he kill the role? Absolutely. No one's arguing that. But will it happen? Should it happen? I'm going to say no and no.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't want it to happen. I mean, maybe he needs the money. I don't know. But, that's the only way I could see him taking something like this on, because it is a commitment. And for somebody who's so selective as he is, and he has been in his career, I don't see it. I really don't see it. And I want somebody younger as well. And I'm not so sure he could fill the shoes of Magneto in terms of, I know he was imposing in Let There Be Blood. Gangs of New York too, actually.
There will be blood.
Oh, there will be blood. My bad. NAOMI-CON. Let there be metal. There will be blood. But I want a younger actor as well, and somebody who's more physically imposing too. Just like this, I want the Jim Lee version of Magneto, to be honest with you guys. So those are my thoughts as well. Wow, we made it, guys. We made it through
the gauntlet.
You made it through the gauntlet, but we made it through one of the biggest news days or news episodes ever on the canon. Naomi saying there will be amended quotes. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to right now end
Just delivers the news and rumors.
All right, Josh is gone for a little bit. He's going bye-bye for a hot second. We got the judge just waiting in the wings to get the fresh from the comic shop. He didn't get divorced for Mother's Day. We made it out on time, so that's just an update there. So all is good there. However, we got to get through this tonight. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say hello to everybody in the chat, give some shout outs. We are going to actually reveal who our new team member is on the canon, an official team member, a new weekly contributor, and then we'll get into Ask Joe. So start getting those questions ready for Ask Joe. We're going to take 3 Ask Joe and Jeff and Dan questions. So get them ready. I think, what do you want to do, Joe? The first 3 or something like that? I don't know how it's
yeah, that's fine.
Think about it. But we're going to say what's up to Dr. Guillaume in the house. We got, again, NAOMI-CON, just making sure she amended the quote. We have Kate's Comics in the house. Pope at Chillytown, making sure Joshua gets kicked off. Well done, sir. Nuke's Comics, always Martha with the DCEU. It's always about Martha. Caleb Leland, I think I said your name, but always want to say it again. We got Spud Comics, aka Lexi, who has tried the Bluey cereal. Can't wait to hear the reviews this week. Actually, Kate saying that she's going to post the reviews for the canon this week. Who else do we have? Who else? We got Raising Elm Comics. We got Brian Klotz. A lot of laughing from Alicia tonight. Maybe she's laughing at me for accusing her, that I'm actually blaming her that I haven't made it through Andor yet. Really upsetting. And there she is laughing right there. We got Tina Rhodan, who is not excited. Are you going to go with her, Dan?
Of course. We normally rotate movies just because we still have like young kids, but yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to see what she thinks because I think she'll walk out of there excited. I do. I really do. I believe in this movie. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? We got Josh's Comics. Anyways, Derek Neiman. I think Derek's an Eagles fan as well. Wait, bring back the Fart Cloud Galactic? You're crazy. Get out of here, man. No way. The Neighborhood Merc. We said hello to you earlier tonight. Broke Boy Comics in the house. So many fun people. Immortal Scruffy, our lovable Canadian, in the house. Who else do we have? Dan De La Torre, a.k.a. The Judge, is in the house. Am I missing anybody, people? Am I missing anybody? Can't miss anybody. Okay, I think we're good. Jesus, there's so many comments, you guys. We love you guys. Heroes Reborn. Jordan Norrie in the house. Oh, starting snack with Josh. All right, great stuff indeed. Okay, moving on here. As we said, we have a new contributor to the canon. This person has left an impression on you, whether you know this or not. Obviously, if you watched 2 weeks ago, because she left an impression on us. NAOMI-CON will be joining the canon as a regular contributor, a new team member, the first new team member since we actually were forced to bring Josh on out of some sort of legal disagreement. I can't remember what that. Joe, what was that again? What happened? We lost a case in court.
Yeah, it was a court case, and Josh is here now. We really can't get rid of him, but yeah.
But the good news is that we do have Naomi. And actually, there has been a movement within the Canon Crew audience. They want Naomi to replace Josh. So I think he's a little bit worried at this point. And but anyways, she fits in perfectly. Quirky humor, knowledgeable about comics, and just a good person. So what we're going to do with Naomi to start. Naomi will be our new comic book day pick of the week. Each week we are going to get some goodness. She's going to pick out a book that you all should be on the lookout for the following week. The problem is we shot this late. She did one for last week. It didn't air on Mother's Day because we wanted to focus on Mother's Day, right, Dan? Of course. Dan, we asked Dan actually to be a guest on Mother's Day. He's like, yeah, I won't be alive if I do this. So let's push it. Anyway,
I enjoy being safe.
Yeah, NAOMI-CON, welcome to the team. You are not live right now. She will be coming on live too every once in a while as well. But for now, please enjoy Naomi's first pick of the week. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Naomi, and I am here in the basement of one of the comic book canon guys. Do I know which one it is? No, I don't, because they put a bag over my head when they snagged me, but I have a sneaking suspicion I know who it is because someone's mom keeps yelling at them to clean the room.
Hey boys! Somebody clogged the toilet again!
Anyways, that's alright. They're feeding me a combination of tuna sandwiches, Doritos, and Surge. Anyways, they'll release me once I give you what I think the top comic book pick of the week is for May 14th, and that is Tynion's and Walsh's Exquisite Corpses. This was exquisite. I have to say, from beginning to end, it really held my attention. What it's about is 13 families coming together annually to put together a blood brawl competition. They choose a representative for their family to go to an undisclosed location and kill one another. The art done by Michael Walsh in this is phenomenal. They give them one page to introduce each one of the competitors, and it's so well done. In it, they have the family, where they're from, the weapon of choice, and then they introduce the representative. And each one of these representatives is just an absolute psycho. I am so excited to see what happens next week. This publication was actually pretty thick, which I like. All right, there it is. My choice of the week for May 14th is Exquisite Corpses from Image Comics, written by James Tynion and art done by Michael Walsh. I think it was phenomenal. If you guys haven't picked it up already, please do so. If you have, let us know what you think. I think it's time for me to go home now, right?
Hey, who drank all the Sturge?
Right. All right. Until next week, stay safe.
Yeah. Right? Absolutely. That is a good choice by the Canon crew. Joe and I being co-CEOs, I think we made a fantastic choice. We've made nothing but smart moves. That's why we are the #1 show on YouTube, as you all can recognize and understand. So we probably should have had her on live tonight, but there's so much going on right now. But again, Naomi, thank you so much. We're very excited about this. You being our new teammate. But I am a little worried about this, Joe. You got another court case coming soon. I don't know if she's threatening us right now or she knows something that we don't. So, little concerned. But
it could be the off-brand surge.
It
could be the off-brand
surge. I
surge.
was wondering where we got that surge from. So, anyways, we treat her well. Shut up. Moving on. I'm excited to see what Naomi will bring to next week's episode. So again, Naomi, congratulations on being a Canon crew member. You are actually going to be in the corner box next week. No lie. So look for your face right there. Okay. So we do this thing right now. Do we have anything, Joe? Do we have? Oh, we do, because we're going to do this thing called
Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Joe. Ask Joe. Whoa! And Jeff.
That's right. It's Ask Joe and Jeff and Dan. All right. Looks like we have 3 questions we're going to get to. We're going to get you out on time tonight, Big Dan. Don't you worry about a thing.
I have nowhere else to go except work from home tomorrow, so I'm good.
Oh, WFH. Okay. That's an acronym, by the way. Just letting you guys know. All right. Ask everyone. Should someone that may be going to Terrificon get the special 3-day pass? Is it worth it? We're going to bring Josh on. Actually, he's going to have some words for this. Not sure. Oh, that is an ugly background we have there. I got to fix that. Not sure if you're going to be going, Big Dan, but it is kind of in your neck of the woods, considering it is East Coast. But let's talk. Joe, you probably have the most information on this.
Yeah. So people always ask me about cons, and you know, all cons are set up differently as far as their ticketing. Some of them, typically the multi-day ones like Terrificon, you can buy a day pass, you can buy a whole weekend pass. You can buy VIP passes for single days or for the whole weekend. There are add-ons, so on and so forth. Do your research, especially if you're going there to get specific things done. Now, typically for me, I just get either general admission or sometimes I spring for the early bird special where you can get in a little bit earlier, get first dibs essentially. That's really all I do because I'm not huge on like the celebrity signatures and stuff like that. And that's usually the stuff that you get with the VIP packages, so on and so forth. Check to see what options there are and just make a pro and cons list. Decide for yourself because everyone's going to be different here. Everyone's going to want different things out of the convention. See what there are. A lot of times, especially if you're going to multiple days, getting that VIP bundle might not be that much more. And you might get like a little bit extra with it, you know, a swag bag or you get to cut in line at the signings or something like that, or, you know, opportunity to go to an exclusive panel or something like that. So keep in mind what you have, laid out for yourself and buy based upon that because it's going to be different for everyone. Now for Terrificon, I'm planning on being there the entire weekend and making a whole trip out of it. It's gonna be great to see everyone from up in New England, people coming from all over the East Coast as well as all over the country, and even Tom coming in, Dr. Guillaume coming in from Argentina. So that's gonna be awesome. Gonna be great to meet him in person for the first time after literally years of talking, having him on the show. Me and him do video calls every once in a while, so that's gonna be great. I'm probably gonna spring for like more of a VIP situation because I'm gonna be there the whole weekend and kind of making a trip out of it. That's not for everyone, so check out what there is and pick for yourself.
Dan, are you going to be going to Terrificon?
I won't. I'm booked for press that weekend at a different con, Otakon, I believe. So it's the life of a photographer. Yeah. If I don't know early enough, I'm probably booked somewhere else.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Keep that in mind for next year because it is actually an amazing experience.
Definitely will.
Joshua.
Yeah, I agree with what Joe said about a lot of cons, but specifically for Terrificon, if you're since you're flying in, I would say go ahead, get the 3-day pass. Last year, I traveled up with Joe and a few other members of the community, and we only spent like half the day there, kind of, and it was a long trip. And man, if you're going up, especially if you want to get signatures, I would do the VIP pass, go in Friday. I think you also get 2 hours early access, right, Joe?
I don't know specifically for Terrificon. I haven't bought my tickets yet.
I think if I'm not mistaken, look into it. I think Terrificon, if you get VIP, I think you get in 1 or 2 hours earlier before general admission. Maybe Friday, go in, get all of your signatures because there are a lot of people doing signings. And then Friday, Saturday, walk around, chat, hang out. It is a lot to take in. Personally, for me too, I think I'm gonna do a weekend trip. I'm gonna try hitting up Friday and Saturday for sure. I don't know if I'll stay for Sunday. I think 3 days might be a bit too much for me, but we'll have to see. So yeah, my recommendations: look into it, like Joe said, and get the best value and bundle for you and what you think you need.
I'm actually still on the fence if I'm going to go. I want to make it a weekend with Alicia and because she had fun there last year. I don't know if you guys remember, she was there.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to meet Dr. Guion in person. So that's really dry. And if I go, I want to stay there for 2 days. So I don't know what kind of pass I'm going to get though. So these guys know better than me. We're going to move on to the next question, which is Mortal Scruffy. Ask the Cannon Crew if you were going to battle, what 5 Marvel heroes and 5 DC characters would you want? I think he's saying. God, that's tough. Big Dan, we're gonna have you go because you're the guest, and guest always goes first. Now you have to think about it.
I just want to say, let's either pick Marvel or DC, just to get through quicker.
That's a lot.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Marvel. I'm more well-read in Marvel. So if we're going to battle 5, I'm going to say Thor because he's my favorite. Black Panther is a great tactician. Blue Marvel was also a great group addition to that. You probably go with a Hulk. You need a Hulk for battle, right? What else? And a good escape route would be, I'm going to go with Eden. X-Men.
Yo, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough to top. Joe, what are your thoughts?
All right, so I'm going to go. I got to have my boy on the team. So we're going to go Nightcrawler first.
I knew it.
Yeah. Just got to have my blue boy there with me. Then I'm gonna think sheer power level, and I'm gonna go with the two of the most powerful characters by far in the universe, Carol Danvers and Scarlet Witch. We got magic, we got cosmic powers, okay, and we got a mutant. Nightcrawler is actually really OP here too because of the teleportation and ability to teleport other people.
Yeah.
So this could be kind of an escape route if need be. So that's 3 so far. I'm going to go with, just for a sheer intellect, smartest character in the Marvel Universe, Moon Girl. We'll go with her next. And then we got to get some brute strength in there. And, I'm going to, Dan already said Hulk, so I'm going to go away from Hulk. And we'll go, as far as brute strength, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. Let's go.
Don't you dare say Hyperion.
Oh no, I was gonna say Hyperion, but that's not a bad idea. Nothing can stop the Juggernaut, so why not?
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's
All
a good
right.
one.
I'm gonna start off with Sentry, then Blue Marvel. Then I'm gonna go. I mean, if I need some brute strength, even though those two can handle their own, I'm gonna go Thing. I love the Thing. I'm gonna go. I need some sort of like. Well, Blue Marvel is one of the smartest people. Shit, this is so hard on the fly too. Shit, I just go Wolverine because you love Wolverine, don't you? And then he's like your tracker. I need somebody who's like the tactician. Just Professor X actually.
Sure.
Hmm.
He can do things.
That works.
Keep them in the wings.
Yeah, why not? All right, that's a great. Yo, Scruffy.
None of us said Phoenix Jean Grey here, even though that would be a pretty OP character. But anyway, Josh, down to you. Let me guess, you're gonna pick DC.
Oh, you damn right I'm gonna pick DC. And guess what? I probably don't even need 5. I only need one guy on my team.
Oh my god,
he's going DC.
He's going to be on the boots on the ground. He's going to be the brawler. He's going to be the smarts. He's going to have the gadgets. The only man that you need is Batman.
Yeah, I knew it.
Oh, God.
But if I had to add in 4 other characters, just for the sake of the argument, I would obviously put Superman on the team. He's overpowered. I would put Wonder Woman. Hopefully, maybe she should find me attractive and, tie me up with a lasso. We'll have to see.
Christ.
I would probably pick John Stewart, Green Lantern. I love John. And my final pick. You know what? Trust me, Dan. You don't know see it's in this system. The last pick I'm going to pick for the team, I'm going to pick somebody that is just crazy, insane. Somebody that would be a odd end choice, and that's the Joker.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Because him and Batman, could probably team up and think of like a really different, let's say we're taking out like a bunch of group of people or whatever, like the Marvel's team or whatever. You know what I mean? They could come up with different, almost similar ideas, but Jokers would be wild and insane. Batman's would be smart and tactical. So yeah, that would be my pick.
All right.
I love this for you.
Well done. We're gonna move on to the final question here for Ask Joe and Jeff and Dan and maybe Josh. I have no idea. Was that like ASMR? Maybe. Nukes asked a lot of good questions. This is another one. Who was the better big screen Bruce Banner? Eric Bana, Edward Norton, or Mark Ruffalo? Big Dan, you go first.
There's only one right answer, unfortunately. And so hopefully I make you happy with this answer, but it's Ed Norton. There's
Joe's just biting his fist.
Yeah.
I'm butting my fist in the best possible way.
Yeah.
In the best possible way.
I was ready to hear Mark Ruffalo because I love Mark Ruffalo. I think he's a great actor. I think he's done great in the role. But when you have an actor tattooed on your body, you have to go with that actor. And for those of you who don't know, I do in fact have Edward Norton tattooed on my thigh.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Bring
Edward Norton here.
Bring it up, Joe. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's my Edward Norton thigh tattoo.
You have a beautiful thigh, by the way, Joe.
Thank you, I appreciate it. His character, the narrator from Fight Club. I thought he did the best job at portraying Banner as Banner was in the comics. Mark Ruffalo is great. Don't get me wrong, but he's a little bit sillier. He's a little bit looser.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner's a button-up guy, and that's the whole thing with him. He's this like straight-laced button-up guy, and then it's a Jekyll and Hyde situation with this explosive, bull in a china shop character of the Hulk. And Ruffalo he doesn't do it quite as well. I do really like him, especially in some of my favorite movies. Shutter Island, he's great in that movie. But Edward Norton all day.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fred Durst on the other thigh. And also Lexi's, she knows, Josh. She knows. Vacation has Josh drunk. I don't know if it's surprising or not, but I didn't know what you guys were going to say. I always thought Edward Norton was the better Bruce Banner out of all of them. He's more believable as Bruce Banner. Turns out he was an asshole, and he completely wanted to take the MCU as a whole in another direction on his own, which obviously didn't work out for him. And it's unfortunate because I thought he did really well. And that Hulk movie is really good. I like Mark Ruffalo. Just what you said, Josh, or Joe, I'm sorry. Just what you said. Mark Ruffalo is a great actor, and he's doing well in the role. He's just not believable for me as Bruce Banner. So that's what it comes down to. Joshua, you get the final say on this.
I have to agree, man.
Really?
I feel like Edward is the best. I think his Hulk is also honestly the best too out of all of them. And Professor Hulk's cool, man, but I want that brute. I want that destroyer, just destroying stuff. And honestly, my list would be Edward, Eric, and then put Mark. I do love Mark. I agree with everything you guys said. I love Mark. But it's just he's too light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way.
Nice. And
by the way, Joe Bear absolutely recommended. It's really good.
Which Hulk movie are we talking about? We talking the
2003?
Okay.
Edward Norton one. It's good. It's worth the watch for sure because it ties into the MCU. Absolutely. It also ties into Captain America, the latest Captain America film, which was okay.
The 2003 Hulk movie, by the way, with Eric Banner, listen, for its time when it came out, I thought it was decent.
Yeah, that's just.
Ask Joe. And Jeff.
Dan, I'm so sorry, man. This is really.
I was hopeful that he would not get ejected as often this episode.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. You can't. Here's the deal. I like the synchronicity we have with 4 slots on there. You know what I mean? 4.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do this? Hey! There we go.
Hey.
It's much better now.
I have to
What
say, you
is
guys have
up?
to stop doing my boy like that, though. He's
Oh, come
sensitive.
on. You know you're gunning for him. It's fine. You're gonna end up being the new lead for the news. It's what's next in your career as on the canon. But honestly, it is an honor to have you as our new team member. Joshua does eat all the Scooby-Doo gummy snacks all the time, so they won't be there for in-craft services, unfortunately. Unless
it's
you
okay.
ask them to hide a little stash for you. Just so
I am just so glad to be out of that basement. I have a mold allergy, so it was getting pretty rough.
Well, you have another 8 minutes left, Joe, by my watch. We have to get her back down there. So, also, if you have any requests for maybe Cool Ranch Doritos next time, we can probably make that happen.
I actually prefer Cool Ranch.
No, haven't you heard about the Cool Ranch Dorito shortage? No one got that reference.
No.
I assure you that none of you got it.
I
I'm
didn't.
laughing pretending like I did, but you do still have to unclog the toilet. That was your mess, Joe. But Naomi, we wanted to bring you on because that's our fault for, I don't know, we just figured it was just a packed show. But we needed to hear from you. We are very grateful that you are part of this show. It's finally time we get some other people on here other than us boring dudes, and you are the perfect person, the perfect fit. Also, you are always on top of the new comic book days. So your pick of the week will be, you guys should get Exquisite Corpses based on her recommendation alone, but looking forward to what you're going to be picking for next week's episode. So again, thank you. And it's going to be fun. Promise that.
I'm excited. It was kind of hard. Just kidding. It wasn't hard for this week. That was the one that I was totally all about. But I'm looking forward to this. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we want to bring on the judge who wants to welcome you as well. Judge, how are you?
Welcome. It's great to see a female presence here. This has been,
Thank you, Your
forgive me
Honor.
for saying a sausage fest, and we don't need that anymore. So thank you, Naomi. Welcome. Wow. And especially since Josh is opposite of you, you can see why we need the contrast from that guy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Dare you? I will say till I'm dead in the ground. He's the sexiest one here.
Whoa. I mean, look at this.
How much money did you get paid to say that?
Just IMDb credits.
Absolutely. You are, yeah, everybody is Sausage Fest as well. Alicia is welcome that you're here too. She's very happy. She's tired. She says she is tired of the Sausage Fest. It's still your fault, maybe, that you have not let me watch Andor. Hopefully I'll get to an episode in. Anyways, wanted to bring you in quick for a word. You will be coming on live every once in a while too, maybe to fill in for Josh, maybe to take over completely for Josh, or we'll have you for other shenanigans. So again, very appreciative of this. Why don't we just keep you on right now, because we're going to move on to this next thing. Big Dan, you got some responsibilities. Are you prepared?
I am prepared.
Fresh from the comic shop, your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop, take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection, because your fresh gets deserve the spotlight.
Fresh from the comic shop. That's right. So we got you, Dan. You are going to be deciding today's semifinalists. A lot of responsibility. The judge is making sure there's no funny business going on either. Somebody slipped you some money under the table, or you're related to somebody, something crazy like that. That's right. Show the gavel. What do you got, Judge?
No pressure, Big Dan. No pressure.
So here we go.
Nobody knew who I was until I got on this podcast.
That's not true. That's not true.
You got more followers than we do.
I definitely knew who you were. Come on now.
I know you're one of my favorite mutuals, Naomi. I didn't want to interrupt while they were introducing you, but you are one of my favorite mutuals on TikTok.
Talk, guys. You want to
go back and forth in the comments?
Yeah, this is a door. How about we'll leave.
Where did Jeff go?
So, how have you been?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I have to get the Exquisite Corpses. I saw it, I glanced over it, and I was like, I'll come back for it. But
it is so
It's
violent. It's so violent. I love it.
I know, enough of this. All right, let's get this going. But yeah, get Exquisite Corpses, everybody.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. We're going to get into it. But Dan, keep in mind, there's 3 criteria you look for. It is a God, I'm so fried right now. It is well-composed shot. Make sure that shot's well-composed. Hopefully somebody who submitted, they had fun with it. It relates to the book. 2, a unique book. Doesn't necessarily need to be how much, Joe?
$30,000.
Doesn't need to be $30,000, but it may be a book you've never seen before. I think we have one of those tonight. And 3, something that pulls at your heartstrings, something that means something to somebody, and they tell you why. We have a lot of people that are able to explain that and articulate that, and it's very important, because the most important thing is that art makes you feel, and comic books are absolutely art. All right, we're going to move on. We are going to move on here. Let's just do it, shall we? A few announcements before we get to it. By announcements, I mean our April winner. So we had, who did we have? We had Nori Jordan versus Journo's good friend Chris, the alumnus of the canon, one of the founding fathers of the canon. And who did we have win? The April winner is Nori Jordan with the boys submission. Well done there, sir. Nori Jordan, you are the April winner. We are figuring out how this all works in terms of the prizes. Since Crafty is not really in the mix right now, we'll get to that in a bit. And then we had our semifinals, which was Mike Haggs versus Caleb Leland. And it looks like Mike Haggs took it by a slim margin right there with the Amazing Spider-Man over the Spider-Man versus Godzilla. So well done, everybody there. All right, moving on here. We got it. Let's just get going. We're going to start off with Kate's Comics. Oh, son of a bee. We're going to go Kate's Comics next. Joe, can you pull that up? Because I don't have, I for some reason forgot to copy.
On it, dog.
It is the Thanos one where it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
All
All right,
right.
we'll get to that in a hot second. Mark Leneker. Talk about unique here. Look at this. Mark Leneker, from 1954 to 1966, Superman, Batman, and other DC heroes appeared in the Italian Albi del Falco series. Having gone through World War II and fascist rule, any hint of a Superman or a master race was stripped, including his name, which was now Nembo Kid, and his S insignia, as you see in this other one right here. It's just a little chest plate. These changes reverted to normal by the mid-'60s. Some big first appearances here, just a few months out from their U.S. debut. Issue 168 had both Titano the Super Ape and Mr. Freeze. Wow. And in 205 introduced Supergirl. Her name was Nembo Star. That you always get that with Leneker. Always get that with Mark Leneker. A little nugget of comic book history, and we truly appreciate it. Joseph, do we have Kate's Comics up?
I'm not seeing a Kate's Comics thing.
My phone is dead too because I was streaming on the TikToks.
Is it the Infinity Gauntlet cover?
Yes, this
That's
one
from
right here.
April 30th.
Yes, we forgot to submit it. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So you want me to read the thing?
Yes, please.
Here's a project I worked on for a couple of weeks for my friend's birthday. I made a journal with a battered copy of Infinity Gauntlet number 1, 1991, as they are a huge MCU fan and even have a tattoo of the Infinity Gauntlet to commemorate the line of films. It took quite some time to find these lines that I liked for the cover and cut them out to add the arrangement. I added the snap to the cover on the back. I love the way it turned out. I'm working on a Daredevil cover next.
That's really cool.
So cool.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
I like it.
Yeah, that rules.
That is unique. That is a great story. And that's a well-composed shot as well. Kate, you never disappoint. All right, moving on. We have next up. Oh, Snap. Speaking of Snap.
No pun intended.
I have a Big Dan. Show us one of your fresh gets. We'll do one fresh get. Does that work for you, Jeff?
Fresh get, sure. Let's see. Got a few here, but I'm going to do one. Actually, I'm going to show these all in succession because I got these yesterday from Fan Expo.
Oh, nice.
Well.
And I love this one because Fan Expo made sure to put Philadelphia on there.
That's awesome.
Hold on.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
That is
Joker's
real.
back in town, Philadelphia.
Love that.
Absolute Superman foil, virgin foil. 1 out of 1,000. Joker, virgin. Yeah.
Nice.
World's Finest. Oh, no, actually, this is Joker and Harley with a Mark Hamill foil cover. And Mark Hamill Joker mask, World's Finest, issue 30.
That's so cool.
I got that one. That was a cool cover.
I want
Had to
that.
get it. I'm a big Joker head. That's my favorite comic book. That's probably my favorite fictional character. Of
I'm
all
so
time.
jealous of that one. That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's
You know, the
very cool.
the fan expos are kind of underrated. They really are. The covers are sweet.
They are so sweet. There was I was forced to a budget. I don't know if my wife is still watching, but I went under budget, so she's proud of me. I came home,
Oh,
didn't
she's
touch
proud of
sleep
you,
on the
man.
couch.
Well
You can
done,
say
man.
here live that you went under budget, but we all
Yeah,
are
we
comic
know.
book lovers.
We know.
No, I
We know that's
went
not
under
a
budget.
thing.
For the safety of my well-being, I went under budget.
Yeah, we'll back
Good
you up
man.
on that.
I believe you. By the way, we have a private chat in this StreamYard if you want to type anything. I'll screen cap and bring it up live too to make sure your wife sees it.
Absolutely.
By the way, it's funny that this person says this, Spud Comics, aka Lexi. If you forget mine, I'll cry. Guess what? First off, actually, more importantly, I am very proud of you staying in budget. Well done.
Aw.
That's right.
Anyways, Lexi, sorry. This is good. By the way, you're next, so we're not going to forget yours, Lexi. We got yours coming up right now. Where are you? I swear. Oh, there you are. Here we go. I was so inspired by the Nerd Pub post. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I think one of my favorite things about this hobby is that there truly is something for everyone, and no matter what that may be, there's a story behind every one. And my post for today is no different. And thank you, Nick, for sharing with us. I'm not sure. We don't have context on that, but I'm sure it was actually, Lexi, you can let us know in the chat. Twilight Zone is one of my favorite lifelong loves. It was one of the first sci-fi horror show I watched, and I watched it with my pop. Anytime the reruns were on, he'd call me to come downstairs so we could watch together. I grabbed the snacks and we'd get cozy and enjoy whatever crazy stuff was going to happen. I really miss those days more than anything. I owe a lot of my nerdy interests to him, and I know he would. He would be proud of the collection I have now. When I lost him, I didn't grieve properly, and there's days when it feels so fresh and new that I grieve unbearably. He was truly the best man I knew and was my father figure, and I feel so empty when I think about his hugs, his laugh, and the smell of his coffee. But I keep his memory alive with things that I know he would love. And this for sure is something he'd try and steal from me. I think all of us here talking can all relate that comics mean a lot more than just these funny pictures and words, right? So that right there exemplifies a lot of the things we look for in Fresh from the Comic Shop. So well done right there. By the way, I'm reading the private chat, and Joseph, do you have something you want to show off real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple things, some pretty cool books that I picked up yesterday at the 3 Minute in a Basement comic book swap up in Connecticut. If you live anywhere near there, get out there next year when they do it. Really great community event. It's like hanging out with friends and just having comic books there all day. Really good time. And the guys even throw an after party. If you haven't watched yet, there is a clip of me doing Limp Bizkit at karaoke on the internet. So you can go check that out when you're
I'm out. We've used this word a lot in the show. Exquisite. That is exquisite.
Yeah.
Your Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
Anyway, I did a bunch of purchases as well as some trades yesterday. This book came. I purchased this one. Just thought it was a really great deal. I forget how much I paid for it, but this is Strange Tales number 78, going with that pre-hero Marvel era in the early 1960s when they were kind of dipping their toes into the idea of heroes, but they had done the Fantastic Four, but they really weren't working on much else yet. And what this book has in it is one of the prototypes of Ant-Man. There were actually a couple different kind of Ant-Man prototypes. This was the first one though. It's called Worm Man in this, which is such a terrible name. Thank goodness they went with Ant-Man. But this is a guy who takes a pill to shrink down, sort of in the vibe of Alice in Wonderland and whatnot. Takes a pill to shrink down to a small size so he can spy. So the character's not really a superhero, more of a spy character, and then eventually takes a pill to grow back up. The story was reprinted later in the 70s as well. So if you want to read the story, I forget what issue it is, but it's one of like the horror sci-fi books from the 70s that did a bunch of reprints. I forget exactly which one, but can't go wrong with this classic early 60s Marvel stuff when they were really just trying to figure themselves out as a company and where they were going to go next.
And books like that are super hard to get in high grade because of the low quality paper they used back in the day. It was literally meant to be thrown away after you read it.
Yeah, and this one's got some of that typical Marvel chipping around the edge. Both staples are attached, but yeah, there's some chips out of it and stuff like that, which you see really commonly on that early to mid 1960s Marvel stuff.
I love that, by the way. I love that pickup, especially with Worm Man. Alexi is just
Worm Man.
Worm Man does not exist.
Lexi would like Worm Man. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got Raising Elm Comics, aka Justin. Howdy, comic fam. Have I got one hell of a surprise to share with you all? But no law of surprise. I don't understand that. I tossed some coin to a seller in Poland who had 6 major key issues of the Weizmann comics. Why are these books a fantastic and wonderful addition to the PC? Well, these comic magazines helped introduce the comic introduction, and further built upon the universe of Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher. The other picture on this post shows some of Geralt's first panel appearances. Let me get that for you right there. And the other pieces I picked up. My wife and I are huge fans of the character, the stories, the games. We've done Witcher-themed puzzles. She's read all the novels by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. And I am a Gwent champion. Before and during the pregnancy with Elijah, we spent countless hours together playing the video games, The Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and all the DLC. When the Netflix Witcher series dropped, starring Henry Cavill in the titular role, God, I can't speak, Geralt of Rivia, we were among the first to tune in. Yeah, these books are welcome and a rare addition to the PC, especially since they are the first Witcher comics we've collected. Gotta say, guys, that sounds unique, and it also pulls at the heartstrings a little bit.
Interesting.
Very interesting, Dan. All right, and here we go. We have 2 more submissions here. I think we're going to move on from our Fresh from the Comic Shops because it's getting late. Joe sounds disappointed.
Whoa, who do we have here, Naomi?
Yeah, what's that, Naomi?
A new challenger.
That was Penny Lane. That's my cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeff, let me go through. I have some like pretty cool ones, but I can go quick.
For it, Joe.
Do you want me to go now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is a book that I did not really know existed. This is, I mean, I knew the run existed, but I didn't know it had any significance. This is Tech Jacket #1 from Image Comics 2003. You look at this thing and you're like, that is some random dollar bin indie comic. Throw it aside, not worth anything. Quite the contrary, because within this book, there is actually a preview of a little comic you may have heard of called Invincible. Had no idea about this. Someone actually brought it up to my table, ended up doing a trade for it. Actually, I think I bought a stack of comics from this guy, and this was one of them. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's the preview of Invincible. Who knew? I may have thrown this in my dollar bins before.
Goodness.
Yeah, so look out for this book, Tech Jacket, issue #1, preview of Invincible. Really cool thing. And then I'll show my third one real quick. This just hits really hard after, the Daredevil Born Again show. This was a trade that someone brought me. They had a couple copies that they had gotten signed, and they were just kind of looking to trade the ones that they weren't keeping in order to, fund some other things in their personal collection. This is Moon Knight #22 from the 2021 series, and it has this awesome Alex Ross Kingpin cover, one of his timeless variants, Virgin cover, and it is signed down here by Vincent D'Onofrio. Really awesome stuff. Yeah, actor that played. I'm not huge on actor signatures, but when this guy pulled this out and was like, "Hey, do you want this?" I was very happy to make that trade, and he didn't want too much for it. He just wanted, a slab from me, so it worked out really well. And I kind of want to keep it, but at the same time, I don't really collect actor signatures, so it probably will get passed on to someone else.
That's a nice pickup right there for sure.
I might be over budget.
What's that, Dan?
Talk. We might be over budget, but we'll talk.
All right, Dan.
Making deals.
Is Tina still on? I hope not.
She's on.
Y'all may need to update the private chat.
He's like hovering in the back, like, no.
Yeah. If you see a knife, just like.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got Danny and Tessa. Where are you? Okay. Cover art by Todd McFarlane. Figure Marvel Legends Retro Collection Symbiote Spider-Man. Upon going through my Spider-Man collection, I found this little gem. Not much of a key, but a great Todd cover featuring the black suit Spidey. Definitely one of my favorite Spidey covers in my collection. This will probably be one of the 90s runs that I try to fill in throughout the remainder of the year. Much love and happy collecting to everyone watching Comic Book Canon tonight. Yeah, this is definitely a great cover. Well done there, Danny, with the matching figure. This cover, it's up there with the first issue. Wouldn't you guys say? Like, it's iconic.
Yeah. This was the original. It's actually not the original Todd McFarlane homaging Todd McFarlane, but it's one of the original ones. I guess ASM 103 would be the first time he did it. But this was interesting because this was his own title that he really was able to take over the character, not just the art, but the writing, and do how he wanted to do it. And this has just become such an iconic cover. Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, how many variants were there of this particular cover?
So I'm actually in a Facebook group and a subsequent Facebook Messenger group chat specifically only dealing with that book and homages, Spider-Man 1 from 1990 and homages of that book. Particularly for me, I only collect the error variants where the lizard is the wrong color. But that being said, there are a bazillion of them. Like there's probably hundreds at this point.
Okay.
For sure. All right, we got one more here to close out Fresh from the Comic Shop, and it's the lovely Nori Jordan. And guys, guess what? Can you believe it? It's Thunderbolts related. Wow. Hey everyone,
Shocking.
I honestly tried to be more original this
Never
week. But
guessed.
yeah, it's another Thunderbolts post. A fun bonus from the Thunderbolts movie is the fun extras that come with it. This week I picked up a unique comic that was only available at Regal Cinemas. I haven't had a moment to read it yet, but I'm sure it will be good. Take care, everyone. I'm sure he's just saying that because it's Thunderbolts. Josh, real quick, thoughts on that?
Trash.
Wow.
Jesus.
I could have used that earlier with my Thunderbolts 1 when I was trying to, wipe myself with toilet paper.
Anyway, so Big Dan, you got some decisions to make here. So
can I interject, Jeff? And since Naomi brought her cat on board,
you're the judge.
My wife and I are cat people, so you won me over instantly, Naomi. Big Dan, if you wish to tap into Naomi's knowledge of comics, that's on the table. I'll allow.
That's fair.
Ooh.
Well, why are we posting a challenge up here? It's Fresh from the Comic Shop.
No. If Dan needs assistance regarding help and he wants to say, "Hey, Naomi, you got an opinion?"
But
totally
she did
allowed.
this 2 weeks ago. No.
Who's the judge and who isn't? I'm allowing this. Continue.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Big Dan,
So
I
what's the
object.
the best way to go about this is pick 3 that stick out for you. But
Okay.
you're gonna have to pick one. Pare it down to one. I do have to say, Naomi,
right.
you were efficient that episode. You just went right in and picked. Isn't that how it went, Joe?
I was writing notes. You told me write notes, and that's exactly what I did.
And that's why I said Dan,
yeah.
Dan has been such a great guest. I wanted to give him a little leeway, a little help, a little assistance. So that's why I'm allowing this from the bench.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I was paying attention the entire time. I never looked away from the screen, not even to charge my phone, which I did. So I've been definitely paying attention. I have two that are in my head that are conflicting. So I might have to go with the Wiseman comics.
Okay. Raising Elm.
Yeah, that it was almost Spider-Man issue 13, ASM 13, but it would have to be the Wiseman.
Okay. So there you have it.
Composition-wise, story-wise, everything is a win there.
So
The
Judge.
Germans.
Yeah. Judge, he is Big Dan is putting in Raising Elm's submission this week. How do you rule?
I like it. He was methodical and direct, made up a very quick decision, but the right decision. Big Dan, congratulations. Raising Elm is the winner. Case dismissed.
Raising Elm, aka Justin, you are moving on to the semifinals. Next semifinals in May. You'll be going up against next week's contestant, our chosen contestant. So next week will be our last episode for May, as it's a 5-week month. Sorry, I'll leave Dan alone. With that said, we may have a casual canon on that Saturday following. We'll talk more about that. But this was an absolutely fantastic episode. Very appreciative of the audience members that have hung around this whole episode. Very appreciative of Big Dan spending time with us. Very appreciative of Naomi joining the team. It was just a great episode. I mean, guys, what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it's really cool. This show, Jeff, you started with this show with Chris. I came on as a fill-in and eventually stayed on the show. We had Chris back for a little bit even, and he pops in every once in a while. We brought Josh and Dan on over the last couple of years since I joined the team to fill different roles in the show. And as of today, we have another member of the crew, doing her part, whether it's going to be live or not. It's just really cool. And Dan, obviously, you and our other guests are such a big part of the show, and we've done a better job this year. And I will give a lot of kudos to Jeff for doing a lot of that. But that being said, we are a team. We try to bring you the best content we can, and we're going to keep doing that. So thank you all for being here.
Yeah, Big Dan, your thoughts here. Anything you want to plug? And I apologize. I haven't seen your podcast. That's pathetic of me. I would have put it down, the link down below.
Nah.
Shame on me.
You're fine. So we're going into our 10th season. We normally do 2 seasons a year. So we've been doing this for 5 years. Our 10th season, we're trying to go bigger. Typically, I'm very suppressed in being the comic book self, just because my best friend is an anime guy. So we try to bridge all that together. But here, I felt like I thrived. I want to say thank you for that.
You did.
Check out the Blurred Bar at the Blurred Bar. If you're looking at my photography or my comic reviews, you can do that through at Big Dan or at lioncat.entertainment. I loved this. I felt at home. I felt safe. Josh, I'm sorry for what they did to you. I was really, really
Time out. Stop it. You were doing such a good job, Dan.
Yeah.
You were doing such a good job.
There's something about Josh that just you want to protect him. Like he's just like
it's not even that. I'll be honest. I didn't want to protect you as much as I just was hoping that it didn't happen this episode as often.
It happens every episode, man.
I know. So I was really hoping that this time there was something unique about my episode. It was like, Josh stays here the whole time, but you couldn't keep your mouth closed. No.
That's how it goes.
Fair. I'm the one who keeps viewership up, apparently.
Anyways, it was an honor having you on, Dan. For real.
Yeah.
The Blackbird, the Blurred Bar down.
Blurred Bar.
The Blurred Bar. The link or the handle is down below there. I put it in the comments right there. But yeah, man, you are welcome back anytime you want. I mean, you aced that interview. Nobody's ever done that, and so quickly too, and so efficiently. You're
amazing.
So weird how well
that.
you did. That's
it really is.
It's almost suspicious, right? But
almost.
Being a Philadelphia native, it's in my blood.
You have no evidence to prove that those answers were given to you beforehand.
No, I don't.
Why did I just say
it's
that?
almost as though it was innate, inside of me the whole time.
Anyways, Josh, you should wear tank tops more often. That's for sure. And Big Dan, or I'm sorry, Dan. Closing comments for the evening.
Well, thank you, Big Dan. Great guest. We definitely have to have you back on, Naomi. I love you already because you're a cat person, so we got this connection already. But you said a lot of great things, Dan, including that we have a lot of fun here, and it's a great time to be alive if you're a comic collector. It's going to be a huge year. And I'll just leave you guys on this. I was skeptical about the Fantastic Four movie because, I was alive and well when that first came out, and I kind of knew what to look for. But Pedro Pascal's kind of growing on me. I think it's because he's an older actor, and that's what I wanted from Reed Richards. He was not a young kid. He was somebody in his mid-40s or so. And especially after seeing the Thunderbolts movie, we're not spoiling, right? We're not spoiling? Okay, good. I think they're onto something. So I'm kind of, we'll see.
I like the optimistic judge over the pessimistic judge.
What about the Superman trailer, though?
I see you cut out Josh. It must have been, there you go.
Naomi, any parting words for this evening?
Yeah, I think I need to get purple lights behind me or something. I need to fit in somehow.
I guarantee you the photographer on the panel right now will be able to give you a few pointers on the lighting you would like to have. And Joshua, please, the lovable Joshua in the tank top.
I don't know if I got.
Yeah, it's been a great episode. We love it. We love you all. Panel here, just hang out after the show. We'll be back again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Until then, please be good to yourself, be good to others. Peace.
Have a blessed night.